This is a day that the Lord has made. Hello, everyone. I am reading my Bible daily with you guys, whether that's live or pre recorded. We are continuing where we left off, which we are in Matthew chapter 12, verse 46. I'm reading from my NIV version, a New International Version, and it's titled Jesus' Mother and Brothers. While Jesus was still talking to the crowd, his mother and brothers stood outside, wanting to speak to him. Someone told him, "Your mother and brothers are standing outside, wanting to speak to you." He replied to him, "Who is my mother and who are my brothers?" He pointed to the disciples and said, "Here are my mother and my brothers. For whoever does the will of my Father in heaven is my brother and sister and mother." Now, I read this ahead of time, and I had to pull up my CEV version, which is Contemporary English Version, to make sure it said the same thing. And it says, "While Jesus was still speaking to the crowds, his mother and brothers came and stood outside because they wanted to talk with him." Someone told Jesus, "Your mother and brothers are standing outside and want to talk with you." Jesus answered, "Who is my mother and who are my brothers?" Then he pointed to his disciples and said, "These are my mother and brothers. Anyone who obeys my Father in heaven is my brother or sister or mother." Now, I also want to pull this up and look for the King James Version because it's, I just want to make sure I'm reading this right. Matthew 12. Okay, so it says, let me find it. Where are you at? Oh, okay. 46. While he yet talked to the people, behold, his mother and his brethren stood without, desiring to speak with him. Then one said unto him, "Behold, thy mother and thy brethren stand without, desiring to speak with thee." But he answered and said unto him that told him, "Who is my mother and who are my brethren?" And he stretched forth his hand toward his disciples and said, "Behold my mother and my brethren. For whosoever shall do the will of my Father which is in heaven, the same is my brother and sister and mother." Hey, Dashing Taco, good morning. So I read 3 different versions of the Bible for the scripture this morning, and they all say the same thing. Just, a little bit different wording. The reason it reads like Old English is because that's the language at that time. Yeah, I've never really read King James Version other than maybe scriptures here and there, so I just was curious to see how different it is. Because I know you mentioned that Bibles are written differently, and I'm trying to figure out like how different. And maybe you're talking about totally different Bibles. Okay, well, they all said the same in that particular example. Yeah. Well, I guess I was expecting something way, way off. but they all sounded the same. Joel, hello. I just read Matthew 12:46 in 3 different Bible versions. I decided to do that because the passage was short. So, oh, where's my pen? "88 books from Ethiopia." How many books are in here? Now, the one that Krista mentioned, where would I find that? Yesterday. She said it was Old Testament. And I don't have that in my Old Testament. Some aren't considered canon because it contradicts others, otherwise known as banned books. I'll have to go back and look at what, because sometimes Krista abbreviates the book, and so I'm not sure exactly what it was. I think she had JES. I don't see that in any of mine. Yeah, she just told me it's an older. She likes the older versions. Or something like that. Well, this Bible message that I just read almost sounds like Mary was not doing the will of God. And so Jesus didn't give her any attention. Yeah, JES. Which could be Joshua. Because I know in Spanish. No, not Joshua. Okay, well, I'll have to ask her. I will have to ask her the next time. Good morning, whoever else is here. It is Sunday when it is my first live of the day, which is when I read my Bible. And I wait to see if anyone has any comments. And it looks like Dashing Taco is the only one. Excuse me. I plan on going for a walk and getting decongested. Oh, look. See, I no longer have a humidifier because it broke. But I'm using this. I don't know what you call this. But it was my son's because it has music and the light. He no longer wants it, so I've been using this in my room, but I still get congested. Happy Sunday, Juan. God bless you. All right, he's on his way to church. Thanks for coming in to say hello, Juan. Yeah, it seemed like Jesus didn't pay attention to his mother. That's the person that concerned me because she went to visit him and he said, let me find it because I already closed up my Bible. He already said, who is my mother? It is you. And he pointed in front of him. Winter is the worst for me. I'll get congested in one nostril when I turn over that nostril. Yes. Okay, so Jesus said, who is my mother? My mother is whoever does the will of my Father in heaven. So that makes it sound like Mary was not doing the will of the Lord. That's why I wanted to read the 3 different versions to make sure I read what I read right. I wonder if I could find another version. Let's see. So I found this. I use BibleGateway.com, and it has. Hello, Boo Boo. It has all kinds of different Bible versions. I just don't know which one to look at. I don't know which one is the oldest version. Contemporary English version, that's the one I have. New International Version, that's what I have. Just saw a TD Jake short where he states Adam was Eve's mother. Adam was Eve's mother. What? That doesn't make sense, Mom, because Adam was created first. You know what? I used to watch TD Jakes, but I don't watch him anymore. What in the world? Alright, keep going, Dash and Taco. One. We now know that humans don't procreate that way. Alright, that is crazy. Okay, Juan, if you're still on here, what do you think about that? Alright, y'all, I just dropped my pen, but I'm going to think about what I am grateful for. Okay, Juan thinks it makes sense. Kind of. I don't know how that makes sense, Juan. It's a mistranslation of the Hebrew word meaning side. Adam, if Adam is a man, how can he be a mother? Titled mother. Eve came second. How could it doesn't follow the order? That's what Juan, you I could have been better today without that. Okay. Okay, so even if we replace the word with side, rib with side, it still doesn't make sense to me. Yeah, my understanding is the rib. That Eve came from the rib. Oh, goodness. See, I was going to pre-record this so I didn't have to, so I could just go about my Sunday with no live, but I was like, I need to see what other people have to say. And I was not expecting this one. Well, we should come from two people, and um, there has to be a man and a woman, but so I'm not really sure either where you're going, Dashi. Very interesting. You need a man and a woman to create. So I agree with two people, but the way Juan worded it is really making me concerned. Not too concerned because this isn't something I'm going to go and dig to research. You can't look at it logically, you have to have faith. Yeah, it is about faith, and it's just that particular clip that Juan is talking about makes no sense to me at all. I think when people put that out, it would be nice to know what version they read it from. And maybe he did write the version. All right. This kind of made me think about something. You know, like children who are not, basically, they're not born naturally because they're born with IVF or whatever. I wonder, that is kind of, first of all, I don't believe in the IVF stuff, and I don't believe in birth control because you're taking things into your own hands. So I don't support that. But now it's just making me wonder. I'm not good at articulating, y'all, so I'm just thinking in my mind. It's not logical. Oh. And okay, Dash and Talkie, you can even genetically modify your hair color, eye color. Yeah, what is going to become of that child's life who was not technically created naturally? I don't know anybody who was born uh, in that manner, so now it's got me thinking. It's got me thinking a bit, y'all. Huh. I'm just thankful that I was able to have my baby. Makes me very thankful. No different than a child born naturally. It's a different beginning. Yeah, I think you said that right. It's a different beginning. But the Lord is right and just. And when you're playing around like that, that's what makes me wonder what happens to them. I know it's not their fault, but there's another scripture that says that we are cursed by our parents or something like that. Which, believe me, I am cursed and I have to pray it away every day. I gotta pray it away every day, y'all. Because of what my parents did. Life will find a way no matter how we believe it begins. Yeah, that might be a topic that I don't want to talk about any other time other than this live. And thankfully, there's only 3 people watching, so it will be forgotten. How are you guilty of what your parents have done? It's a part of my life, Dash and Taco, that I'm not sure I want to talk about. It's what I said I really believe is book worthy. And it kind of haunts me every day. Choices that both of my parents made. Yeah. I'm just not ready to talk about it. I mean, I've talked to a few people in person, but I'm not ready to talk about it here. Not here. Daryl, good morning. Yeah, Dash and Taco. We do process in different ways. Thankfully, I have my brother to talk to because he's obviously in the same situation as I am. So we get, we talk about it. Daryl, I just read Matthew 12:46. And I actually read it in 3 different Bible versions. So, let's see. It was Matthew Well, let me just go to it. I read it in 3 different versions because I wanted to make sure I was reading what I read. Because it's one of those scriptures that has me like, I have to really think about it. Which every now and then I come upon that. Have a good day, Taco. Because it says, who is my mother? And then Jesus points out to the disciples and said, these are my mother and brothers. Anyone who obeys my Father in heaven is my brother or sister or mother. So it makes me think that Mary was not obeying God. But I wanted to make sure I read that correctly from my favorite Bible version. And they all say that. Okay, I'm going to end the poll. And I'm going to stay on a little bit longer, see if anyone has anything to say. I don't think anyone is left on here, so I'm going to end. Thank you, whoever did join. I hope you have a great day. Today's going to be what you make of it. If you like this, please subscribe. And I have my scripture every single morning. Thank you, Juan. Enjoy your day, too.